And former President Donald Trump is among several current and former U.S. officials named in a potential assassination plot by Iran. According to a Yahoo News report, Iran is considering a plan to kill an American official in retaliation for a U.S. drone strike that killed an Iranian commander. NewsNation's Kelly Meyer is live in Washington with these new details. Kelly, how seriously is the government taking this threat?
Well, Nichole, we're told the administration is watching these threats and flagging them for law enforcement agencies across the country. One expert we spoke with today telling us there's a real fear that Iran will act on what they say.
A new U.S. intelligence report warning Iran may be working to kill top U.S. officials. Among the targets, former President Donald Trump, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and U.S. General Kenneth McKenzie. This as revenge for the 2020 U.S. airstrike that killed Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani, the leader of Iran's notorious Quds Force and the mastermind of repeated attacks on American forces in the region. The threat assessment, confirmed by NewsNation, was sent to law enforcement offices nationwide last month. In it, the National Counterterrorism Center says Iran is advancing, quote, a multi-pronged campaign against several U.S. officials, especially those who played a role in the killing of Soleimani, adding it would view the killing of a U.S. official equivalent in rank as, quote, successful retaliatory actions. Even as Iran threatens former top U.S. officials, President Biden is in talks with Iran to revive the 2015 arms deal, designed to assure that Iran could not develop a nuclear weapon. Former President Trump rejected the pact shortly after taking office. Today in Israel, the president says the ball is now in Iran's court.
We are not going to wait forever.
Critics say the Biden administration is making a mistake in talking to the Iranian regime.
It makes no sense to be trying to reward a regime that is trying to kill, assassinate Americans, current and former U.S. officials. There is continuity of effort. For 4 decades, the Islamic Republic has tried to reach onto American soil. This is likely not the end of this story.
And Nichole, just moments ago, the National Security Council telling me that they couldn't talk about this specific document, but stressed that they will protect and defend its citizens, both former officials and those currently serving in office, saying, quote, we are united in our resolve against threats and provocations, and we will work with our allies and partners to deter and respond to any attacks carried out by Iran. Nichole?
Kelly Meyer live in Washington. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.